Welcome to my podcast where I talk about all things related to money mindset, finance, business, and investing. My name is Royston Cumberbatch, a qualified accountant with over 30 years experience in finance and business. Coming from a very humble background, I have continuously challenged the assumptions and the expectations of what I'm capable of achieving for myself and others. Over the years, I've helped hundreds of entrepreneurs to decipher finance and to make more money and to run highly successful businesses. On this podcast, I will share with you tips, strategies, techniques, and tools that you can use to make more money, manage money better, and to maximize your success. Welcome back to the podcast, and in today's episode I want to talk about the all-important aspect of managing your money in business, a bit of banking. And before I go into this, I would say I've taken a little break from podcasting because I was on Clubhouse. Clubhouse is a new drop-in conversation app with a number of top experts dropping gems, and also I'm on there as well, in different rooms. So if you listen to this podcast, if you're on Clubhouse, follow me at Roy Fixit. That is at ROYFIXIT. Search for me as Roy Cumberbatch, the money management expert. Just type money management. That's on Clubhouse. Let's get straight into it. Banking. So in terms of banking, in terms of like you running a business, you're an investor, you banking. Fundamentally, I think you need to separate your personal banking from your business banking. Always on like common sense, there are many people who run businesses who don't do that, and they just mingle, their personal affairs in business account. I even met someone one time who was actually running a cafe, and he was putting all his transactions from the business into the bank account. Why would you do that? Because actually, when it comes to taxes, etc., it's just like, you're mixing yourself up. So I want to give you the strategy whereby you should have multiple bank accounts. Number one, this strategy will help you to have better relationships with different banks, so you can then approach them for funding. You can approach them for credit cards. And what I will do is help you to leverage your money, use that money to make more money. Because ultimately, as I said in different podcasts, you should always look to leverage debt, leverage credit to make more money. So this strategy is also based on the principle of the profit first system. There's actually a book on it. But even long ago, before I went into this profit first system, I was using this in my own business. And I was also using this whilst working in financial services. What is the strategy? So the strategy is that you must have multiple bank accounts, even in business. And there are 5 main bank accounts that everyone in business should have. I'm going to explain them. I'm going to break them down. Number 1 is called a revenue account. The revenue account is a 100% account because that's where the money is coming in. I guess that's clear, right? And you have the OPEX account, the operation expenses account. And the operation expenses account is effectively based on a budget. You should know for every pound or every dollar that you get in, how much going to be operation expenses. That must be based on your business model, based on your whole financial management model, right? Which you should have in your business. So third, you're going to have a profit account. You must work out how much profit you're going to be making from every transaction that you make, and you should allocate the profit to a profit account. Number 4, you should pay yourself. Have a remuneration account. This is the only account of the 5 accounts that is effectively a personal account. All the others are basically business current accounts. And number 5 is the tax account. So I'm going to go over this later on. But importantly, by having these different accounts, you can really move money around. Because one of the things I discovered, right, in my early sort of, time with, dealing with money, managing money, and I've got a deep affiliation with money. I'll probably tell you the story about that as well. Effectively, I realized that it's important to play off the banks. It's important to move money around. Because what you can do, right, if you have just a job, for example, or you have a small business and you're making money from just one revenue source, by having multiple accounts, what you can do is move the same money or use a proportion of the money you get in across different bank accounts, and you can build relationships with different banks just by having one income stream. What is the benefit of this? It means that with each of these banks, you can have a credit card or a loan or an overdraft that allows you to leverage money to use the bank's money to make more money. That is effectively how banking works. So how does banking work? Banking actually takes your money. It takes money from people who have money, people who put the money in the bank, and they lend the money out to people who want to take risk, people who want to borrow the money, people who want to invest the money and grow the money. Of course, the bank takes calculated risk because the bank obviously is going to assess you before they actually give you the money. But same thing, you should be doing that in your business. You should be playing the banks off. You should run your business like a bank. You should actually say, right, I'm making money, but however, I want to keep some as reserves, and I've talked about cash reserves before. But importantly, you should then be looking, to put this money into different bank accounts so that you can effectively have different relationships with different banks. Yes? Because once you start to make money, you want to also leverage money. And leverage money is basically putting your money to work for you so your money can compound. I hope that makes sense. So let me give you the story. So my very first job, I think I was like 19 over in Grenada. And my first job was actually working for a hotel. And I was like the cashier, you can say, So in the morning time, I will come into work and I will have all this money being collected that's already in the safe. And I will also probably go out either to the restaurant or the bars and see if they have any extra money. I will then collect all the money and then put the money together and send it to the bank for deposit. So I did that in my role, and that was quite good, And also I became a financial controller for a different company, for a bakery that was cash rich. I also was involved in making sure that the money is deposited safely. Because as a financial controller, one of the key things that you want to do in your business is make sure that your money is protected, your money is banked properly. You should follow the money. Make sure that you understand when the money come into your business, where does the money go from there. And all I'm saying as a financial controller, I'm saying even as a business owner, as an investor, you are effectively chief financial controller. Even if you have a CFO, even if you're a big company and you have a CFO, you effectively have to have the right governance, the right processes in place so you understand exactly how money is working and you allow them to account to you. So then what happens is that I came to the UK in 2001. I studied accountancy and I ended up on Fenchurch Street, the Monopoly board, man. That was like, bam, game in, game on. But here I'm on the Monopoly board and one of the first things I did, even as a student, obviously, I had to have a bank account. But as soon as I ended up on the Monopoly board, I ended up going and set up a next account because I realized that you need multiple accounts. Why did I realize this? My very first job in insurance was called cash management and expenses accountant. And I was responsible for managing over 40 bank accounts for one business. Yes, 40 bank accounts. Effectively, what happened here is that they had multiple currencies because it was a branch of a German company called Württembergischer. Württembergischer and Western Rot is actually the German company name. And I was working for Verti UK. Which is now called Antares anyway. If in case you're in the UK and you're listening, it's called Antares, Antares. That was my very first job in financial services in 2001, working on Fenchurch Street, 82 to 84 Fenchurch Street. I used to come into Fenchurch Street station sometimes. I was like, bam, I'm on the Monopoly board, man. So it's a long story actually behind that anyway. But to give it brief, I realized that this company, effectively, what they did is that they have a service company, which is like the company that manages all the expenses, and that has a couple of bank accounts. But then they have the risk carrier, which is the insurance company, which has multiple bank accounts. So I became responsible for managing all these accounts and having different relationships with the different lending institutions. I also became the person who will, have relationship with the custodian, have meetings with them. I also became like a treasurer. I started putting monies on deposits, moving money around, having what is called clearing accounts, having called a net zero account at the end of the day. There's so much things I can tell you about banking that it might, get you too excited. So I'll probably keep it for a next podcast. But I'm trying to keep this podcast brief. So I realized that having multiple bank accounts really and truly helps because, as I said, you can have operational accounts, you can have investing accounts, you can have your own personal accounts, and you can have your own tax account. Now, why is that so important for you as a business owner, or investor, or even an entrepreneur? Because you will never have to worry about having enough money to pay for your taxes. You will always have, at the end of the year, the money available in the bank to pay for your taxes. You're also going to pay yourself first because effectively you allocate allocating money from the revenue to the profit account. And that can be done monthly, right? And it's all based on percentages. It's based on different percentages. If you want any information on this, do drop me an email at Roy, R-O-Y, at racmax, RACMACS.com. I would love to help you. I'd love to help you set the system up in your own business. So I want to keep it brief because I want to be doing multiple podcasts. And as I said earlier, the only reason why I was not on here is because I was on Clubhouse. Clubhouse is a new drop-in conversation app that's live and it's on fire. And I'm on there. Yesterday I linked up with some guys from the East Coast, in America. We've been talking about some strategies. I've been talking about, financial management essentials for business owners. So if you in America, I actually realize that my podcast is listened most in America anyway. So if you're in America and you listen to this podcast and you're on Clubhouse, follow me at Roy Fixit. If you're in the UK, drop me a DM Roy at Racmax, RACMACS.com. I would love to help you. I would love to help you manage your money better. I've also written a book on the topic called Money Management for Business Owners and Entrepreneurs. And this same system, I've just spoken about the Profit First system, is in my book. I've also got free resources I can share with you to help you to manage your money better. So until next time, take care, be good to yourself, be good to others. I'm out. Bye-bye. Thank you very much for listening to my podcast. I hope you enjoyed the show. You can find out more about me by Googling my name, Royston Cumberbatch. I'm on all the social media, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. You can find me on YouTube as Roy Cumberbatch. And if you are listening on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. Or you can find me on my website at www.racmax.com. That's RACMACS.com. It'd be great to hear from you. And do feel free to tell me about any topics you want me to cover on future episodes. Until next time, be good to yourself and others. Keep positive and reaching for your financial goals. Bye-bye.